at functions1, and what we're going to do is make a function that prints a random name from an array. And we're going to output this on the page. So go ahead and download functions1.html. I did put a little reference in here on how to do random numbers, just because it's not something we've done a lot yet. So let's take a look at what we have. So we have a list of names, and then we have a paragraph element. And so we want to output a random name. So we want to define our function first. We're going to say function, and then choose name is what we're looking at. So we're not actually going to pass any kind of a parameter to this. We're just going to say give me a random name. So first thing we want to do is figure out this random stuff. So we want to have a random number, and then we want to pass it to the array in brackets. So yes, the first thing we want to do is we would say let my choice be equal to names square bracket. And so technically if I wanted the first name of the list, I'd hit 0. If I want the last name, I'd hit 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I want a random number. So I will need a way to generate that random number. So I'm going to call it random number. So above that, I'm going to define that. So I'm going to say let random number equal random code here. So this code, if we look over here, math random, if you remember, math random gives us a number from 0 to less than 1. So if I were to just put in here math.random, I'm just going to get a decimal number, some kind of random decimal number. So the way to address this, so I can keep it in constraints of 0 through 7, is I need to take that random number and I need to round it down first. So we're going to put that around our random. So if we ran this right now, it's going to take a random number that's less than 1, round it down. We're going to always get it 0. So we don't really want that to happen. So in some examples we've seen where we do random values, we multiply by 1, and then we're going to get some kind of a random whole number. In this case, we want to multiply by the number of items in the list, so we don't get a random number that's too high or out of our range. So then I can say names.length, because that's going to tell me how many items are in the array. And save this, and let's preview this in the browser. Look at our console. So style errors, nothing big there. So if I say names, I get my list of my array. If I say paragraph, it's going to show me the paragraph it's going to create. So now, if I try this code, it gives me a number 4, 3, 1, 2, 7. So that's getting me my random values, and then my choice is where I'm going to take the names array and pass it the variable that gives me the random number. So I should be able to do this. I might have to actually just try this. Choice, uncut reference, choice is not defined. Okay, so we're dealing with scope here. So when I try to run choice, it's enclosed inside the function called choose_name. So in order to get this to run, I actually have to invoke the function, and then we can test it. We're going to just say choose_name, and when we refresh our page, no errors now. So let's see what happens when I type in choose name, undefined. Alright, so names works, paragraph works, random number. Okay. So let's take a closer look then, see if we're missing. I don't see any syntax errors. Our choice is equal to names random. So let's go back and look at our directions here. So it says create a function, prints, and then adds it to the paragraph once it runs. So we need to add one more line here. So the paragraph we defined, so we're going to say para.text content is equal to choice. You'll notice I didn't put that in quotes, it's not a string, so it's going to be equal to that. Go back over here and refresh. So now it's working. So we were just missing the part that actually writes it to our page. So now every time I refresh, choose name runs, and we have a working function. So now I can run it and it actually outputs it here. So when I was running it before, I was running it and all it was doing is just taking the declarations of the variables I made and saying, okay, now what? So this is the line that's actually doing the work here.